Hey, somebody's already on here. Alar Kelly. I decided to come here on here and do another live video because I keep getting messages in my inbox about some things, and then I have a video that is trending. A video I did more than 2 years ago on the negatives of Ghana. It's trending, so I just thought that I should do another video that's more up to date because I do talk about some of the challenges of Ghana in that particular video. There are challenges, there are positives, there are negatives, and making the decision to move to Ghana. Now, the last video I did talking about COVID-19, that video was so like foggy looking when I looked at it. I shot that video on my Samsung Note 8 phone, which I absolutely am very dissatisfied with. I'm normally happy with Samsung phones. I've had Samsung phones for a long time. Since the early 2000s, I've been using Samsung phones, and I have never been unhappy until the Note 8. So I'm using my old Samsung S6 to do this live stream, and this picture is much clearer than it was on my Note 8. So the 6 is from the 2015, and the picture is much better looking than it was on the Note 8. So anyway, let me just move along. Good afternoon to you, Matthew. Greetings. Um, it is evening for me here in Ghana. It's 7:30 in the evening. The sun has already set. One of the things about living in Ghana, if you've never traveled to Ghana before, is the sun always sets at the same time. It always sets between 6 and 6:30. The sun is gone very quickly and then it's dark. So you get 12 hours of sunshine, 12 hours of darkness every single day. Alaric is in California. Oh, it's noon. I hope it's lunchtime for you. Greetings to you, Frank. Thanks for tuning in. As I said, I want to talk about some things that you should consider before making a decision to move to Ghana. Because I get a lot of messages, especially now with COVID-19. It seems like there's a lot of people in the African American community, especially, who've been sending messages saying that they want to come to Ghana, they want to leave the US, want to know when the border's opening so that they can come here. But one thing I always say to people is don't make a rash decision to move to another country until you've done some investigation, until you've done your due diligence to make sure that it's the right move for you. One of the things that I think is very important to do is to take a trip. Take a trip to the country before you make the decision that you want to make the move. Take a trip, figure out if you like it, figure out if you enjoy it, see what the potential is. And when you take the trip, stay longer than a typical 2 week holiday, because a 2 week trip usually is just holiday mode. You're going to be in vacay mode. You'll see everything from the positive. You won't be as critical of things, because when you're moving somewhere, you will look at this and A, B, and C and make your decision based on the things that you see. So I usually say stay at least a month if you can, 2 months, so then you get a better idea of exactly what you want to do, because of the fact that you're out of vacation mode. Now you're into the mode of, okay, what kind of work can I do? Can I collaborate with people? Can I start a business? You can go and have meetings with people to find out what the potential is for starting business if you wanted to do that. Meeting with people to see what it's like for them when they move, to find out if it will work for you too. So it's very important that you do take a trip and you ask questions. You find out exactly what it is that will work for you. Um, and the other thing is, consider if you wanted to start a business, how much of a commitment you're ready to make. Because as everybody knows, many businesses fail within the first 5 years. And it's not any different if you come to Ghana. People think they can get here and then it's going to be like a land of milk and honey and everything's going to be easy and simple because now you've come to Africa and you're working with your people and everything's going to be great. But that's not the case, because you're going to have a culture shock, first of all, because you have to deal with a cultural change. You have to deal with the way that the system is different. You have to deal with how people do business differently. So, for example, one of the things that I have found challenging is In Ghana, people always want to meet in person. I know this may change now with the whole pandemic and how now with their social distancing, people are going digital more. But culturally, in Ghana, people want to have in-person meetings to discuss things with you. Whereas in America, Canada, UK, people can do stuff over email and get it done. In Ghana, people don't like using email so much. They always want to meet in person. So you have to allocate that into your scheduling and your planning if you're trying to plan or decide on doing business. Sometimes that is extra added time. But that being said, because of this pandemic, more people are shifting to digital. So you may find that after this whole thing is over, you may be able to get things done quickly the same way you do in other countries through more digital meetings, more Skype, more Zoom, more WhatsApp. So yeah. And when it comes to doing business, it's a good idea to connect with the Ghana Investment Promotion Center because they can answer all your questions with respect to starting a business in Ghana, with respect to all of the ins and outs and things that you should be looking out for, registration, those kinds of things. So do your investigation. If you wanted to come to Ghana and look for a job, one of the things you need to consider is finding out what the salaries are, finding out what kinds of skills are needed, asking questions in that industry. LinkedIn is a great tool. A lot of people don't give LinkedIn enough credit. LinkedIn is a great tool to connect with people, find out who the business owners are, find out who the CEOs are, find out who the hiring management are. And so you can connect with them that way, have conversations, start ahead of time before you make your trip, make appointments with people before you arrive so that you have everything laid out so that when you get to the country, you can have your meetings, bam, 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 and knock it out. And then you can figure out if you want to make the move or not. So it's very important that you do your research. It's very important that you take a trip to see if you like the place enough or not. Very important to plan. Very important to investigate what kind of industries are the industries of the future. So there's a lot of conversation about Africa rising, and a lot of people think it's like this quick thing. But the reality is this is like a 20-year plan. The way I see it, if somebody decides I'm starting a business in Ghana today, you have to be willing to put in the commitment for at least, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Like you have to have it broken down in the 5-year, 10-year, 15-year, 20-year, what your marks of achievement are going to be, or your goals that you're reaching for in each 5-year increment. Because it takes a long time for a business to build. Think about it. I think it was 1996 or 97 when Amazon started, right? People look at what, Jeff Bezos is making today and how huge Amazon is, but it was like 1996, 1997 when he started it. And when he started it, it was only books. He was only selling books. Now we're in 2020 in a pandemic, and Amazon is just going through the roof. People are still buying from Amazon. They're staying home and they're ordering and having stuff delivered home, right? So when you start a business, whether it's in America or in Canada, or if you come to Ghana or another African country, you have to have the patience to stick it out. You have to know that it's not going to happen like that. You have to have the patience for something to take the time to grow, to build, and become what it's meant to be. So you have to have the passion. You have to have the passion to do it for you to make that commitment. Frank says a lot want to come to Ghana and when the borders shall be opened. Okay, so this is something people keep asking me about, the borders opening. The borders are not open. I think everybody needs to ask yourself this question. Are we out of the pandemic in the world right now? People are still getting infected. People are still dying. People are still suffering. So, no, the borders are not open. The borders are not open. Right now, every country is trying to protect their citizens, trying to protect their residents. So every country right now, their borders are closed. And Ghana's are closed too. Airlines aren't even flying. The only flights I know about that have been going on still are repatriation flights. Countries are getting their citizens and flying them back to their home countries. So no, the borders are not open. I do not know when the borders are going to open. What I would like to know is, when is this going to end? When is the pandemic going to end? That's what I would like to know. We don't have the answer to that question yet. So for now, I mean, today Ghana's case count is 4,700. It's been rising. They're not going to open the borders when infection rate is still rising right now. So um, one person on here, Emmanuel, says one particular business I wish diasporans will venture into is pharmaceuticals. It's so lucrative. I wonder why people do not get into it. Great comment. There are pharmaceutical companies in Ghana. There could be more. I think there's a strong possibility this will be a growing industry, especially since this pandemic. This COVID-19 situation has really gotten people's eyes open because right now Ghana is producing PPE and they didn't do that before. So that is obviously an example of the response to the current situation. So great comment there, Emmanuel, about pharmaceuticals. The president, in one of his speeches a few weeks ago, said that Ghana is doing more scientific research and will be looking into doing more pharmaceuticals with existing. Okay, I'm back. The internet was acting up. The internet was acting up. My apologies. Um, So, okay, so Kofi O. Newton Couples Production said, living in Ghana to be the most wealthiest versus living in Ghana to free yourself from the West. Okay. Winston says, I love your videos. Thank you. Frank says, fact maybe next year. Niayi says, in June it will end. Oh, are you saying the pandemic's going to end in June? Okay. And then Winston says, what do you know about the land for the... Your sentence ended there. I'm going to guess you're asking about the land that they were talking about for diaspora people. I'm so hot. You see me sweating? Some of my friends in Canada have told me to stop bragging. Canada and the Northeast US has experienced a cold spell, unusual for this time of year. Um, oh, thank you. You complimented my fro. Thank you. I'm having a rough hair day, but thank you. Yeah, the land, I don't have specific details on that, but I know that there are projects that are around right now that are offering opportunities to purchase land. And then there was a project that was offering free land in the central region. There was a fee. I think the fee is $750 to register to get the land. So, I mean, it's not completely free, but that cost basically covers things like legal land title, that kind of stuff, as opposed to the actual land cost itself. But there's a number of different projects around that are specifically targeting the people from the diaspora who are moving to Ghana or wanting to invest in Ghana. So there's a few out there. It's not just the one that people heard about during the year of return. So yeah, so basically, before I just noticed that my battery is low. I was saying that you have to consider these things before moving to Ghana. So make sure you take a trip to see if it's something you actually like. Take your time, ask questions, find out about business opportunities, pay attention. When you come, don't stay for just 2 weeks. Stay for at least 1 or 2 months so that you actually have time to investigate, meet with people. Use LinkedIn as a great resource. With LinkedIn, you can meet with people from different businesses, different industries, connect with them before you arrive in Ghana. One industry that is really growing and I think is great to invest in is agriculture. A lot of people don't think about that. The continent of Africa is fertile with so much that agriculture is something that you should look into as a way to build business. And it's actually one of the types of industries that I know the government has different opportunities for people who are coming from abroad to invest in, if you're looking to do that. Because I know that there is a large amount of money that people are required to have if you're starting a business in Ghana and you're a foreign person coming to do business. And then they have a discount when you do business partnered with a Ghanaian. But if you get into agriculture, there are certain crops that you can get into where there's not a field. Sorry, there's not an excessive fee for you to be involved in that particular business. So like cashew processing, I know cashew processing is something that they're really trying to encourage. And from what I understand, that there are some things on the books that can help assist you if you wanted to get into like cashew processing. So, and the coconut industry is also growing. Coconut water, coconut, milk, coconut. The inside, people blend it to do smoothies, to do skincare, hair care, all kinds of stuff. So there's so many different things that you can do. Ross has asked me if I have any plans on writing another book. Possibly. I've been thinking about it. We will see. Thank you for asking. That means that people want more information. Thank you for asking. So yeah, oh, and then I mentioned the Ghana Investment Promotion Center is a great resource for you to look into if you're looking to do business in Ghana. So I'm gonna wrap up here right now. If you have any other questions, please do put them in the comments, and I will do my best to answer. My battery is running low, so I will wrap it up right now. Plus, I'm feeling really hot, and I want to go refresh myself with a nice cold drink and just relax a bit for the rest of the evening, maybe catch some Netflix. So thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time.